Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm Will Dragon, and this is our playthrough on Timberborn in New Dam. Now, when we left off last time, we have gotten past disaster. However, things are taking quite a long time for our beaver population to come back. So I did say I'm not going to do this, but I am now going to go and do this. We are going to give them a small helping hand. We're going to put 2 more breeding pods in there. Keep those going for maybe a cycle, just to help get an extra, you know, sort of 8 to 10 beavers back in the world. And then we are going to... we're going to get rid of them, because I don't want a higher population. I just want them to come back a bit, because we did lose... well, we lost a lot of beavers, folks. It was devastating. And they are struggling to come back a little bit. It's a very slow-growing population, and of course, I mean, look, as you're just going to see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just died of old age in the last couple of days. So, you know, obviously we've, instead of having a steadily aging population, because of the great devastation where we lost 1/3 of our population, we've obviously got big peaks and step-ups, like the good old pyramids of Egypt or of Giza. We've clearly got big peaks where we're going to have large numbers of our population dying at the same time until we even out that growth curve once more. So let's put a couple more. Now, don't get me wrong, this will also then cause a little bit of the opposite. I'll end up going slightly above my wanted population until they kind of drop off again. But that's fine. Like I said, I'm not gonna push these all of the way to get to the population where I want to get to, because then that will have a much bigger effect in terms of what I've just gone and said. But I'm just gonna help them get me, you know, I mean, I currently need 28 workers. It's been that way now for a little over a full cycle. So, you know, I want to try and drop those numbers probably closer to about 15. That means that my builders will start coming back online, and we will we'll definitely be able to keep things going just beautifully. Now, my water pumpers have all stopped. This is because, well, apart from that, you know, these little fluctuations you're seeing, that's because all of my tanks are full. But that does also mean that during a drought, which we're about to hit, all of this water stays available to be pumped throughout the drought without being suddenly sucked up, because we still need to fill our water tanks, because our water tanks are full. What we're also doing is, somewhere down here, all the way down to the bottom, no, there is a layer 0. There is a Mario life. All the way down here, we're carving out some new watering ground. And let's go and clean up the old path. Yeah, we're basically propping up our mountain on stilts and allowing the underside of it to be filled full of water, basically, for future use. Now, again, this will go a lot faster once we get our builders. I am actually going to go and remove this path. Because to be honest with you, I think actually this path should be able to cover most of this. And once again, I said it last episode, if you want to make your FPS go really well, then just go down to the bottom layer of your layering tool, and everything goes beautifully. Yep, ladies and gentlemen, this is Beaver Society, and all we are really waiting for is the chemical growth of more beavers. I think 2 more just popped out. Yep. Fully ready to get into Beaver Society. Got another one about to pop out there. We just had one pop out there. Very nice. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 were born. We did just lose another 2, but not as bad as, like I said, yes, this little patch of 5 beavers dying of old age. So yes, we are turning numbers down. We'll probably go for maybe 1 more round of breeding. Then I might even get rid of these guys. Maybe another 2 beavers out of each of these. And I think I might even remove them at that point. That should... Well, it's going to get me below 20, which is the goal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. That'll be another... Technically another 14 beavers. Oh, so no, I suppose another 7 beavers if I just let them do 1 more each. Did I say 2 or 1? I don't know, but I'm now feeling 1. Because another 7 beavers puts me down on 14, which is a pretty good number. We'll pause them for now. Maybe in case I want to just turn them on once more to get 2 more beavers out once again. If I feel we go through another death spike, shall we say. Yeah, I think we're looking okay. I think we are looking okay. But of course, we still do have 2 of the normal breeding pods. Just for thematics, basically. There's a couple of kits running around the neighborhood, you know. Being bratty beavers. Getting in the way of the working beavers, you know. Laughing at them. Haha, you never had a childhood. Of course, eventually they'll grow up and they'll be like, damn, I wish I had my childhood back. And then there'll be more kids running around laughing at those beavers. Because they no longer have a childhood. So yeah, and of course, there's probably going to be a lot of resentment between the beavers who did in fact have a childhood and grew up. Compared to all the beavers who, of course, naturally just were born straight as adults. Due to the advanced breeding process that the Iron Teeth now have. And so, there's going to be a lot of resentment. There's going to be a lot of, I imagine, potential segregation and hate back and forth. Of course, though, there's also a very large part of me that truly prays and hopes that beavers are past that. That the beavers have no room for segregation and hate in their society. And that, yeah, they all just get along regardless. Like, hey, yeah, you working today? I'm working today. Yeah, you damn right we're working today. Because we're Iron Teeth Beavers. And all we do is work. We live to work and we work to work harder. Because we're Iron Teeth Beavers. So yeah, I mean, hopefully a big part of me hopes that is in fact the truth. So, so yeah. Yeah, there you go. There's my take on Beaver Society, ladies and gentlemen. And the dreams and hopes I have for the digital game of Timberborn. Okay, let's pause both of these. They've just both gone and popped out a new beaver. So we're down on minus 21, basically. However, we're just about to have... I say just about, we're partly into our next round of beavers. Do I keep them going for 1 more? I mean, we probably are about to lose a few beavers. You know what? Let's keep them going for 1 more. That'll put me down closer to about 15. Of course, we are likely to have a couple of deaths. So yes, we'll keep them going for a tiny bit more. And then, of course, we do occasionally get the odd beaver that grows up. Because, like I said, there are some kids running around. There aren't many. There are probably... I wonder how many we do actually have. 2. I wonder if they do, in fact, grow up faster than the next kids. Oh, well, there goes 1. No, sorry. I lied. There's still 2. They've just been pushed down. I wonder if they do grow up faster than the next are born. Imagine that in a society, ladies and gentlemen. There's always children, but they never know that there's ever been other children. Because they grow up before the next round of children are ever born. So, of course, they know they used to be children. They know that although unusual, it is something that in fact happens in Beaver Society. However, the children never, ever know that there has ever been other children. Except for some weird leftover clue. The children of yesteryear. And so yeah, things are... There are some mysteries going on in beaver society. We're not quite sure what they are. There are some mysteries going on. Much point, we're down at 20, so our next beaver gets to become a new builder. How glorious is that, ladies and gentlemen? We are... And I think it's going to be whoever comes out of this pod. Oh, is it? Yes, it is. So whoever comes out of this pod, touch wood, will be a builder. Hoping we don't lose any... But nope, somebody died of old age. Never mind. Never mind, he's not going to be a builder. He's going to go do whatever mundane job is waiting for him. He'll never get to build the great things of this world. So yep, as you can see, as I said, our water is... It's just fine. I'm even tempted to turn these two off because... Oh wow. This... I have a feeling that this didn't flood over in the last... Okay, no, we do have water in there. That's good. That is good. They do have water. And we do have a full set of water in there as well. Okay, no. So that's good. That's good. We do have water. We do have water. That's obviously just the level. It's obviously just one up in terms of its level. I didn't think it was. But it obviously is. Because if that goes up to the top of this, all of this floods, which we've never had happen. So... It obviously is the level that it's at. And yeah, I mean, it should last fine. I'm mildly tempted to turn these off, but again, then I'm scared that I'll ignore something, I'll forget about it, and then all of this will suddenly dry out and I won't be pumping any water. Which again, then could have another third of my population drop off and be no more. How are we doing? Oh, we're doing just beautifully. Yep, they can still be reached. I'm not going to worry about any of that. No, we don't have... We still don't have a new builder quite yet. He is, Oh, and unfortunately... Injured beaver? I think, yes, we've got a couple of extra injured beavers. I can see... 2 smelters working. I've probably got... Not only does that redirect another worker, helping me get closer to having that builder beaver, it also gives less chance of beavers being injured from industry. So we shall, we'll see how that goes, ladies and gentlemen, but we're gonna... We have 2 new builder beavers, ladies and gentlemen. In the morning, one of these buildings will turn back on. Oh my god, it's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. We have more builders. And so now as time goes on, those numbers should keep increasing. Everything should just, speed at which everything gets built is just going to go up exponentially. I mean, damn it, we lost one. Another 2 would have meant a doubling of our capacity of builders. But unfortunately, that was not actually meant to be. I'm very glad I did turn these 2 back on. Because, yeah, we're still struggling a little bit. We still clearly have a lot of people dying of old age. We're still very much in the pyramid style of growth and... Well, growth, yes. As compared to what we're hoping for. Like I said, a nice steady up, and then we should just plateau somewhere. That's unfortunately not quite happening at this point. By Beaver Society... Oh, damn it, we're still... Oh, no, that would have been an injury. Our injuries are dropping down, though. We're down on 4. We were on 6 a minute ago. Buildings lack workers. All of our building posts, basically. Okay, I believe in Beaver Society. We are missing about 50... We should be 20 to 30 beavers above capacity. We are missing quite a few beavers here. We are going to get our extras out very shortly. 19! One of the builder sets will turn back on once again. It is the same one. 20, and it turned back off. We got another injured beaver, folks. We got another injured beaver. Do I, in fact, keep these going for another round? Because we are still fluctuating like crazy. I would actually like to get some builders in and actually do some real building. Which, is taking a small while. Because we are, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, just yeah. We are, oh wow, 21 missing beavers. That's because we got another injured. 20, woohoo, because we just had one board. Should go down to 19. Yep, we have another builder back. I'm not going to let them go for another full breeding round. It takes, by the looks of it, about 4 days. So we're going to let that go for another full round. By that point, we should hopefully be down on maybe about 13 or so. We should have some actual permanent and solid builders, as opposed to this little fluctuation gap we're currently on. And we should also have another set of children grown up by that point. There you go. 65%. Oh no, 99. Sorry, that's their extra speed. There's one. The other one won't be far off. Another day, basically. 16. We have a full building's worth of builders. Ooh la la. Yep, we'll let them do one more round of breeding. Then we'll turn those off. And, yeah, like I said, unfortunately, folks, there's not really a lot going on. I mean, let's have a quick exploration. Oh, let's... I'm going to go and pause you. That should also help our injuries a smidge. Also gets us one more builder back. Let's go and look at the beauty of our beaver society. Now, we do have a very still, large water wheel. That is due to the fact that we redirected. So we did lose power in one of them. AKA it's gone down to 0 or as opposed to 400. But we did go and gain 6 more at 400. So we're +5. There's an extra 2,000 power, folks. Although we did, I say that, we did in fact lose 400 power off each of these. So it in fact actually evened out. We have, with all of this extra, we in fact get the exact same power as if this just flowed all the way through here. But there was a flooding problem. That's why it happened, ladies and gentlemen. Because we needed to lower the levels of the bad water so that we stopped flooding our society. And then, other than this glorious bad water aqueduct, which gives us beautiful amounts of power, we have our bowtie farm. A lovely bit of water which comes from our hidden, very hidden at this point, water source in here, flows along here, and has underground irrigation of a 600 tile farming area, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we have canola, we have eggplants, we have, I'm going to say soy, yes, and cassava. There you go. All of that, ladies and gentlemen, our giant 600 odd tile bow tie farming area. Isn't it just? And of course, to top that off, we have the Monument of Unity. It's the Flame of Unity with a lot more decoration and a lot more pomp. And there you go. We have the bells to let people know when to start and finish work. And this is a pressure relief valve, basically. By allowing a system to be fully locked in, which this was during a bad tide. Oh no, sorry, it was during a normal, actually, weather event. During wet season. Then when the bad tide came, the surge of water that came out from the release of pressure caused a massive bad tide wave to just fly in this direction, because this is where the opening is. I covered this up for some redirection. By building a pressure outlet, and so in essence not allowing it to build up pressure, which is something you don't really hear talked about on Timberborn, to be honest, about pressure in the system. There is pressure in built-in pipes and systems. You potentially wouldn't think it because it's not something that's in essence built into the game. This is user-made piping, should we say. So it's not something that's built into the game. But by having a pressurized system, you have these massive bow wave problems. So that dropped the wave by a good 80%. So by putting up a pressure relief system, the wave didn't become a problem. And then what I went and did is by covering all of this up, any wave that does happen, which is inconsequential to what we do because we've gone and built this and lowered the level so much, comes out in this direction. As opposed to before, it was coming out in this direction, and it was a lot larger, and so it was flooding my farms, and even pushing down into this area with bad water, which we don't like bad water, folks. We end up with weird people like Strange Bob and Strange Sue. And then coming off this beautiful farming area, of course, we need the food processing area. I'm gonna... I don't know if I've been talking for so long they've actually produced more beavers. But I'm going to let them produce one more each. Coming off this area, we have the food processing area, of course, because almost, not all, actually, almost all of Iron Teeth's food needs processing in some way whatsoever. All right, we're going to take a quick break from this infomercial to make sure that they are able to keep blowing things up because we now have builders, so things are actually happening. So yeah, so we came across here and we've gone and built this food processing area. Not, of course, forgetting all of these lovely hydroponic farms, which we managed to build. Beautiful bit of overhang, again, due to the new mechanics that are coming out in Update 7. Update 7? Update 8. Update 7. Yeah, Update 7. Due to the new mechanics that are coming out in Update 7, which allow you to build overhangs, we've managed to build a lovely patch of overhang and cover it in our hydroponic farms. So all of that comes over here to get processed. As you can see, we've got a giant tub of canola oil. Go for a swim in that, eh? Watch your cholesterol explode. That, of course, would happen just after your heart explodes. And so this is all beautifully powered. Helps us actually process all of our food to allow our beavers to be very happy. We have an industrial zone and a warehouse district just down here. Certainly not the biggest. Certainly not the most impressive I've ever seen. Some of the things I've seen built on Discord are insane, ladies and gentlemen. But it does. I mean, as you can see, we are pumping out all of our resources, apart from a small snafu, where we actually ran out of pine resin was our problem. And so we had a bit of problem with treated planks. We're all going absolutely fantastic now. And then, of course, our 2 dirt extractors just making holes. You know, just making holes. Of course, our industrial area is twin layered. We've got the bottom layer, which was the original layer, but then we went and tidied it up a little bit, adding the top layer. Of course, we have our water reservoir with farming on top. Permanent little water catchals to make sure that the water can last for a full 40 days. And as the longest drought you ever see on the game, unless you tweak the settings, is 30 days. This farm will stay fully watered throughout any drought. Same as this farm. As long as we get enough water to refill it, which, everything going well, we should. Because, well, our system is now fully functioning and up and running, unlike it was before, which it was, struggling is the best way of putting it. And so, yes, and then here our beautiful, and now I was very proud of this, if I'm perfectly honest. Our beautiful housing district. We have a 3-tier housing district. The bottom tier is our warehouses and water tanks, along with, of course, a coffee tank. Because what is life without coffee? Especially for the Iron Teeth. So, you guys can now go and be paused. You've definitely given me more beavers. And look at that, ladies and gentlemen. 3 of the buildings have lights on. And so, as I was saying, I'm very proud of this one. So, yes, we have our warehouses and water tanks plus coffee on the bottom. We have our housing in the middle, which gets overlapped by every single aesthetic booster. Wasn't how it was planned. I just planned it to get a good mix in. Obviously, I tried to make sure I put variety in to get a good mix. But I just put them in to get good coverage, and it turns out I managed to get them coverage of every single one, which I was very happy about. And then up on the 3rd level, we have our very large hospital. which we in no way need anymore. This does house, I mean, what is this? This is 25 beavers. I don't think we really ever go into double figures too much more anymore. And of course, then these guys have beautiful fast access via the tubeway to come down and make sure they can get access to food and water. That is the only thing your injured beavers need. And then we simply topped it off with a little bit of a roof piece. So we've probably topped it off with a roof. And then we had a 3 gap in the middle instead of a 2 gap, and it doesn't work out. I couldn't make it work out, and it all looks horrible. And so we built a little bit of extra. And so now everybody, except for those on Fun Mountain, knows exactly what time it is. You could say except for these, but no, they've got their own clock, ladies and gentlemen. They have their own clock. So do these guys, to be fair. The guys on the social rooftops. And so, yeah. So, that is our beautiful housing district with, of course, the monument or the tribute to ingenuity right in the middle. Just an absolute beautiful crowning glory piece. And then, of course, our last project, which was Fun Mountain. We have our swimming pools, our motivatariums, our mud baths, our social rooftop areas, our exercise plazas, and of course, right at the top, our wind tunnel. So you can pretend you're skydiving whilst you survey the whole of beautiful, beautiful new dam. And then, of course, we are just finishing off our Earth repopulator, which we will get back to, I think, very shortly now, actually. Now with the increased numbers of beavers, sorry, builders, I should say. Beavers and builders, it all works the same, I suppose. We have almost finished down here. We've got that many left to go, however many that many is. Wow, we have actually used a lot of our planks. We're going to come back here, and we're actually going to turn this bad boy back on. It is going to go and take 2 of our builders away. That's all right. That's all right. The fact that we have, you know, at this point, 8 extra builders, where we've been going on 4 for so long. So we have 300% building capacity instead of 100% building capacity. I mean, that's just huge in itself. We're building things 3 times faster. So yeah, all of this will... Yeah, I thought we'd get that last piece blown up. All of this will beautifully get knocked out. And then, of course, with all that being knocked out, we will, of course, have a lot more water in this reservoir. I reckon that's going to provide us with another maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days worth of drought water. Which is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Those little subtle changes, because, excuse me, every single day that you can mitigate a drought, every day of drought that you can mitigate is another glorious day of beaver survivability that you have a solution for. Because that's what it's all about. It's all about surviving those 30 days of drought and expanding into glorious things. So every little thing you do, you don't have to build a giant dam. As you can see, I'm very much against building giant dams. I have a small reservoir. It's all right. Yeah, it's fairly large. It's not too bad. But honestly, most of the people I see build dams bigger than my bow tie farm. All the way dug into the ground, all the way up, you know, 12, 13, 14, 15 layers deep. And you don't actually need to do it, ladies and gentlemen. You can make small, subtle changes. And that is my personal way of playing. Don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with building a giant dam. Just not the way I choose to play. Because these little changes, they all make a difference. One day here, one day there, one day here. The next thing you know, you're all the way through a 30-day bad tide. And you don't even have to worry about a thing. It's glorious. So, yep. And so this pool is linked to this pool, which is linked to this pool, which has lots of underground pipes going everywhere. This floods all the way across to here. We'll go through here and help refill this pool. We've got a little bit of irrigation here. This back corner of the map is largely untouched, other than the fact that I have capped off my bad water for power. But all of this back corner is largely untouched, as is this back corner. Again, other than the fact that I've gone and covered a good portion of it with my bow tie farm, and my pressure relief does flood into here. Yeah, and that's our whole society, ladies and gentlemen. That is our whole society. Now, we've just had a whole bunch of people die of old age again because we are 8 people down, and yet I have turned off 6 pumpers, so that should actually be 14 down. So our numbers are going up. We do, in fact, though, actually have 9 injured beavers. That's where a lot of our beavers are going. That's quite a high number. I mean, we usually do average closer to 4 or 5. That is quite a high number. But that should go back down in the next couple of days as our beavers. I love it. You can see the beds they've occupied. They've lit the small lamps so people can find them. Mother Teresa of beaver form, whoever Mother Teresa of beaver form is, she can find them in the night, you know, kiss their boo-boos, stroke their tails, tell them everything's going to be okay. Oh, double explosion. There you go. Getting closer back to the shorter path area now. And only 4 people missing. Now, like I said, I have taken 6 off water pumps, which will have to go back. But still. And then, of course, in 6 days, all of this will flood with water. I'm loving it. We're getting through like 2 rows in a day. Maybe even more. Can we get through almost 3 rows? 2.5, I think, at least. Almost. Just dropping off the last of their materials. So yeah, that'll be done in another couple of days, I think. We'll definitely beat the end of the drought. And then we get the Earth Repopulator finished off with my 1 missing metal blocks. And of course, then my 400 planks, but we are full of treated planks. That's not a problem either. Yes, the morning comes, everyone goes back to work. And I'm just waiting to see my first beaver run up with our next set of materials, start hammering this thing home. That's what I'm waiting on, folks. That's what I am waiting on. How many smelters do I have on the go? I do have 2. Do you know what? Let's pause you. That should once again also help injuries. That's also another beaver. We are flat even. Now again, I have borrowed 6. And I still see them. Look at them all running down there. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, which I didn't even talk about at all earlier, are tubeways. This tubeway runs underground to this tubeway. Of course, then you can see it's linked to this tubeway, this tubeway. This tubeway comes along here. And it's linked to this tubeway. It is also then linked underground to this tubeway, which is linked above ground to this tubeway, and kind of hidden underground to this tubeway. And then, of course, we have this tubeway, which... I'm getting ahead of myself. Again, through underground linking coming from here, we have this tubeway, which then goes up the different layers of our beautiful housing district, which then bridges over the river to hit our different tubeway stations over here, and our one that just pops over here as well, which is also then comes down here and links to our final tubeway, which is this one. And so yeah, that is our beautiful tubeway network, which provides amazing transportation passage. All of this, honestly, all of this would probably take me twice as many haulers, let's just put it that way, to keep running properly if I didn't have tubeways. They would be running around like Crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, work on the Earth Repopulator has resumed. I have 2 beavers looking for jobs. The last metal block has still not been delivered. It will remain 1999 forever. We will never hit the new millennium. Not in Beaver Society. So yes, work on the Earth Repopulator has resumed. Can we have it done by the end of the drought? Can we have it done when the wet season arrives? I would say in fair weather, but not that we have any weather, but it'd probably be easier to launch during a drought, if I'm honest. You'd think you'd have clearer skies than when it's raining all the time, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, technically, like I said, there is no weather, but you know. And so that also then means that, double check, all of this, there you go. So all of this area you see here is going to be filled full of water. And so we have an extra, won't even bother wanting to count, 100 tiles worth of water? Got 100 tiles. All hidden, unless you really look in the distance and you see some stilts. Go and tidy up some pathing. All that deletes is... There's... Are they going to keep picking it up? We do have lots of space for planks, so I might give them the opportunity. And what's what, ladies and gentlemen, so we are down at averaging around 40 FPS now because there's so much going on in Beaver Society. Imagine if I didn't clean up my paths. Apparently that does take up quite a lot of your CPU capacity. Now, unfortunately, it does kind of run as a single core style game. So, unfortunately, having dual cores doesn't really give you bonuses with Timberborn, which is a shame. Oh, we almost made it. Done. And we can actually get rid of that as well. Yep, because that is all still plumbed in. How are we doing? 88%. Keep hammering, guys. Keep hammering. All the materials have been delivered. All it takes is beaver power to keep it building. Look at them all go crazy. I don't know what that guy's doing, but he's doing something. Same as that guy. I mean, they've got hammers, but they're just like, they're like digging through wood. They're scratching. They're scratching their names where they will be found in thousands of years' time. And of course, all of my beavers beautifully branded with my old logo. We have recently been through a rebranding on the channel, but still, we will we'll have to get that changed over for the next playthrough. For now, the history remains. And again, yep, so this is dried out. We've got 2 days left. I don't know what to tell you, folks. I don't know what to tell you. I can't figure it out. By my recollection, this should last, unless, of course, you know, them swimming in it and them using the showers does actually use up water. I mean, I never thought it did, but that's not really based on anything, if I'm honest. So unless that uses up a lot of the water and that's what's draining the water really, really fast, I don't know. Oh, 2 days left of building. We might just make it. I think we're getting through about 5 to 6% a day. So we should just make it before I take away the builders and put them back on their water pumps. Back up to 123 beavers. I mean, like I said, we should average about 150. We went down to the 80s, so we were quite devastated a little while ago. So we're coming back. We've gotten an extra 40 beavers into our population. Well, you know, it's in terms of actual numbers. We've had a lot more beavers into the population since then. As I would even say, a lot of our beavers who were around during the devastating drought and thirst of cycle 50, potentially actually dead. Who knows, folks? Who knows? We have 8 workers in here. Wow, of course, yes, this place needs workers. We need 500 berries and 500 treated planks. Now, the treated planks shouldn't be too much of a thing. I mean, we're going to get over 400 of those Oh, no, sorry, those will go up to 300. Now, the berries, we only hold 200. This guy's actually going to have to do some work for once, which is a little bit crazy. Dies in 7. Yeah, that's fine. And then, of course, go on and pause those already for when the water comes back. Let's not make the same mistake twice and have a devastated population again. So yeah, we only hold 200 berries. So that's rather amusing. Although we still have 150. That'll get us up to... We should be able to hit 300 quite easily. The last 200 are actually going to take some work. As crazy as that is. As crazy as that is, I'm going to go and... do you know what? Let's keep it at 8 people, of course. We need 8 people. These people, these glorious, glorious people are going to be the beavers that are sent off. Brave, brave, honorable beavers who are sent off to repopulate this earth. And, yeah, that's where we're at, basically. So what do we need? We need about 300 and 350. Now, you've got 230. Go on and pause you. That can be very easily turned around. We are down to 13 missing beavers again. Now, admittedly, that's because we have 8 more. So technically, we're down on 5. That's a bit of an unfair comparison. We're on 5 missing beavers. Now, of course, yes, we will constantly be losing 8 beavers to repopulate the earth every time we launch this. That will go and happen. Now, unfortunately, these things, yeah, they get a little bit of stunted growth. We should be okay once this floods enough. And water levels keep on rising. We have to get above this line, basically. Oh, does that mean all of these dried out again? I believe it does. It does. These guys just pump too darn much water. I'm going to go and actually pause both of these guys. Again, it's dangerous because... if these guys all stop pumping and because, you know, these are providing water per day for like 70 of our beavers. You know, it could be quite devastating on our water supply. But, again, they're pumping enough water per day for 70 beavers. So that's a lot of water coming out of our reservoir. And then our little improvement here. Oh, wow, it's still actually filling up this bottom level. That's how much water is down there, folks. It's been filling it up for a full day, and it still hasn't actually managed to finish it. Don't get me wrong, it's also working against, you know, 6 pumps. But still. It's struggling to make it. Oh, I think it just made it. Hang on, we got so many things in the way. It is struggling to make it. That's how much water is under there. Which is great, really. When you think about it. Because, I mean, over this side, which has a massive area, even this is probably filling up faster. I mean, we're going to actually have water flow through this very shortly. So this is going to help fill this up, which is a little bit mental. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, just before we get to the launch, we are going to end the episode there. The stream will continue. We're going to launch this Earth Repopulator and get these beavers spreading back around the world. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you joining us episodal, as per always, we hope that you will stay safe, happy, and healthy.